It's so easy to see, Delia, why they take it so personally, and many of those folks might end up in the jury pool when and if this case ends up going to trial. Delia Gonzalez with us on Capitol Hill. Delia, thank you so much. Now, as for how this arraignment and the former president's movements around town have affected working D.C. today, let's check in with traffic specialist Lindsay Nance. And Lindsay, now that the former president has left, does Kevin McCarthy have the votes at this moment to become speaker? That's what we're waiting to confirm. Literally, this is unfolding as we speak right now in this moment. But first, I want to take a couple seconds just to show you how we got to where we are right now. Okay, so look, here's the Capitol Police is literally coming through right now. Move to the side, Mike, move to the side. They're coming through and they're clearing the street of the protesters right now. So it looks like, so the protesters had started to just clear themselves. Now Capitol Police seeing their moment, making their move. Try traveling with a jar of peanut butter. They don't like that either.
Do you travel with a jar of peanut butter?
I did once. They took it away. Never again. They and their families need your help. Listen, our phone bank, USO volunteers, they're taking your calls right now. As somebody who made my way through college, waiting tables for 5 years over 3 different states, tips are crucial. They're important. Your servers depend on them. Not tipping at all is an outrage. Here is the big problem. Right after Emmer was nominated and got the majority vote of Republicans, Donald Trump, the former president, put out a post on social media that had the effect of dropping a live grenade into the room where all those Republicans were gathered, and it's essentially killed Emmer's chances at the speakership. We have so far heard from a handful of very dissatisfied Republican congressmen and women. First, let me tell you where I am. I'm actually in the basement of the Capitol building, the room that is down the hallway. I think we're so far back that you can't even see it, but that is where members of the House Republican caucus are gathered right now. Clean as a hound's tooth, says Republican Tim Burchett of East Tennessee. We will see, because it's going to take 217 Republican votes to secure the speakership. Let's talk about the concerns real quick, Attorney General. Let's talk about the concerns in the Senate, that all it takes is 2 Democrats to cross over and join the 49 Republicans who have sponsored and co-sponsored this legislation. This could potentially reveal that the problem with fentanyl is a lot bigger than any of us know about. If there's additional overdose deaths that just haven't been categorized as fentanyl deaths, right? So let's jump in our time machine, Doug. Let's go back to 1988, Super Bowl Media Day. You're getting questions, I'm sure, out the wazoo. What's it like to be the first black quarterback? What's it like? What's it like? I mean, did you ever foresee a time in the future where we'd have 2 black quarterbacks facing off against each other? D.C. Councilmember Brooke Pinto joining us now to discuss all these developments that we've seen unfold today. So, Councilmember, I'm slightly confused. Is it 1773 or 2023? I feel like Congress is still treating D.C. like a colony. Your reaction to what you've seen today? Funding the government, avoiding a shutdown. Next Friday, the deadline to pass these spending bills, or the government's going to shut down. Do you feel like House Speaker Mike Johnson is looking for a bipartisan path forward? And just straight up, scale of 1 to 10, your confidence that Congress can avoid a shutdown? All right, so let's ask the question. At this point, who does have confidence in Dan Snyder? If there's an actual answer, seriously, tweet me at @AdamLongoTV. But here's an interesting quirk. Most legislation in the Senate requires a 60-vote threshold to pass, the filibuster rule. Not this one. Only a majority, 51 votes, are needed to pass. Good evening. I'm Adam Longo, and this is Future Band DC. We're going to be talking about a cultural exchange program that is bringing DC's go-go music to Cuba. So what do you think? We're coming into a brand new season. Are you feeling optimistic, not only about the direction of the team on the field, but off the field as well? I want to tell you the story of this bag, though. This belongs to Gabriella. I texted her, right, because her number's on the bag. She was stuck in Dallas with her fiance. She's getting married up here in the D.C. area this week. Her bag left behind. They rented a car from Dallas and drove up here to make it in time for their wedding reception. She says a family member is coming over to the airport to pick up this bag. From one of my sources on Capitol Hill, I was able to get my hands on this report where a GSA executive overruled the 3-member site selection panel. You tell them what menu you want. You have 3 options, right? You've got vegetarian, you've got seafood, and you've got meat. You're going to get a 4-course meal. You have no idea what's going to be on it, and that's kind of the point of the whole thing.
Let's go, D.C.!
We've got a new owner. You're not going anywhere. We've got a new owner of the Washington Commanders. The Nats won tonight, and the U.S. women just won their first-round match. For the new FBI headquarters, this has been a project in the works now for 14 years. Ever since then, FBI Director Bob Mueller walked into Steny Hoyer, the congressman from Maryland's office, back in 2009. This has been up for discussion because the J. Edgar Hoover building, according to all parties involved, is completely falling apart and not capable of supporting the FBI's current mission. So as we listen to holiday music here at the National Christmas Tree Lighting Ceremony, it is certainly not the most wonderful time of year if you work at the GSA, because they are caught in the middle of this right now, being pulled by delegations on both sides of the Potomac River. There was a massive police presence. That now has since evaporated as law enforcement now begins to expand their search for this very dangerous suspect. We're with Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland, who is a member of the January 6th committee. He's rushing off for other business and votes right now. But Congressman, it's critical for folks in our area to know what the work product is going to be of the January 6th Commission, because so many of them were affected by that day. And to see my friends and former colleagues pour their hearts out on social media while at the same time having to go on live television to report on the murder of one of their own, it's heartbreaking, it's tragic, and it really hurts a lot.